Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chasing Rank. Hopefully, you are doing well. Let's get the camera up and about. It is going into game week 37. Technically, game week 36 hasn't finished yet, but with one game to go, I think it is a good time to get on the stream. So if you are here nice and early, make sure you get in the chat. Let us know how your team has gone so far this week through game week 36. And joining me, as always, is Damo. How you going, mate?
Not bad, mate. Not bad as always. Always trying to do well. And yeah, look, it's been not too bad of a game week for myself, and always nice to have a big green towards the end of towards the end of the season.
Yep, you did mention that you were going to be targeting this backstretch in to try and get as close to the top, or inside top 500K, but as close to the top 100K as we could. So that'll be fantastic to see you climb. So let's get straight into Fallers and Ballers, because I think tonight's going to be an interesting chat. I'm assuming Dom will pop in at some point. I think he said he'll be a little bit late, so that's fine. So because he's not here, we have an interesting dilemma, which I don't think we've had for a while on Fallers and Ballers. Dom is coming in third at 64 points. But if I scroll down, he has a 12-pointer from our boy Elliot Anderson coming off the bench, which puts him on 72 points. Oh, no, it doesn't. All right, I've screwed up my maths here. Puts him on 76 points, so I've screwed my maths up. That's Dom's team. I realised I'm bottom. I got my maths wrong. The one thing I loved was Hinshelwood.
What a pick.
And we both were adamant on Hinshelwood. What made this pick even better for me was, I don't think you don't know this point yet, Dame. I haven't told you this. Saturday night, I was at Dom's house. We were watching Goal Rush.
Yep.
We were having a chit-chat. And we see Brighton goal. And I ran over to the couch and hugged Dom, because everyone that was in the stream last week knows that Hinshelwood was our differential to help me win in our big head-to-head league. So that has helped, along with Hincapié getting the benching, which was nice, because Dom said to me, Paul, it's your game week this week to help me with my team, Bowen or Anderson. And I said Bowen. So we got out of jail with Hincapié not playing, but that is Dom's side. So he's currently sitting on 76 points with 4 to play, and his triple captain. So in a very, very good position. So I should have started with my team first. I got my maths wrong. I'm technically on 72 points with the same 4 to play, sitting in third. I've got Anderson sitting on my bench, which hurts a little bit. But again, I looked at my team. João Pedro maybe could have been an option. Elliot Anderson's attacking returns have probably been the thing that's killed me lately, because I've had him on the bench for the last-minute goal, whoever it was against a few weeks ago when they won. Oh, Sunderland, I had him on the bench, and I've had him on the bench this week. I just couldn't see where I played him personally this week, so I'm not hurt about that one. That's just the wrong side of variance. Once again, back end of my season has been absolutely dictated by some decision-making, but ballers for me, Erling Haaland, Calvert-Lewin, and Gabriel is where I'll leave mine. And do I have yours? I thought I loaded your team up. I have. Damo, 87 points. Talk us through it.
Yeah, look, a great game week. A game week rank currently inside the top 300K in the world, which is quite nice. Haven't had many of these game weeks this season. He's hovering around the top 500K. Like the goal, I've said, it's been my worst season FPL, was to try and get back well inside the top 500K. With how good this game week's going, the fact I still have triple captain Haaland and Palace look like a rabble, and I think City need to win this game and win it well to stay in this title fight. We could be on for a monster score and could even be top 400K if things really do click. But yeah, so a great week. Do have a couple of fallers. I didn't know where to go between Larox and Manoz, and in the end decided to go for minute safety with Larox. Should have went Manoz. He got a bonus point, even though he didn't get an attacking return or anything, which, you know, when Manoz plays his best, he is
Lacroix was one DC off as well, though. He finished on 9.
Yeah, still not great, but, you know, that's the small little margins they have between a sensational week and a really, really good week. Like that extra couple of points that gets me to 90. You know, yeah. Joe Pedro's the other one. I think Chelsea just looked horrid against us, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it was a shocking game.
yeah, I didn't think we were particularly great ourselves either. But yeah, and Semenyo is on the chopping block, I will say, for the last couple of games of the season. Just looks tired, looks done. A lot of football for
It was
him
pretty
this year.
unlucky not to get an assist there as well.
I will agree with that. But there's been no returns here for the last 8-9 weeks, something like that. So yeah, with that being
Minutes
said,
are good though. That's what we're worried about.
yes, we were. I am in my plan to sell Semenyo this week. So there you go. But Semenyo is the one that I'm looking to move on, and he is the one that is my faller. In terms of ballers, obviously, when you triple captain Erling Haaland, and a lot of people triple captain Gabriel back quite a number of weeks ago, nice to have that score already beat with a game to go against Palace. Could be a sensational week. I'm going to early Crow. I think that he is going to go and get a couple of goals here and get 50 plus points this game week. So I'm very happy.
That'd be beautiful.
Gabriel obviously had a great one. So did Guay, but Elliot Anderson's going to get my top baller of the week. I've had him in the team for a lot of his returns. He is a guy that I will definitely have 100% locked in my FPL drafts next season, unless he's up at 8 million. And then in that case, then
could be playing at Man City apparently.
Yeah, he might be. I've saw the rumors. Maybe be a little less attractive at City, but I still think he starts for him. Great goal with everything he's going through in his personal life to rock up and play 3 days later to then play again and get a great goal. I just think he's got a great mentality, great kid, great footballer to watch, great for DC, great for FPL, and great for my rank.
And pretty much saves Nottingham Forest. They are now safe as well. So take that and run. And that is where we're at with Ballers and Ballers. M's good point, 74 with triple captain on Haaland. So I think we are pretty well in a similar spot there. So, Damo, you've alluded to this game already. Let's just get into it. Just
both sides.
Liverpool and Chelsea.
The good thing about this game, right, from an FPL perspective, is Liverpool assets next season will be cheap and will be good to get in. You want to know why they're going to be good to get in? Everything that I'm reading at the moment, including Fabrizio Romano, is that FSG are meeting with Xabi Alonso. So it sounds like Slot could be out the door, which is sensational, which means we should get some better defensively minded football from Liverpool, which is great for the defenders, but some really solid sort of attacking numbers next season. And I think Rio is a guy for the future, and hopefully we'll get a lot of stars under Xabi Alonso next season. Now, that's all not confirmed, etc.
Well, he's talking to Chelsea too, apparently.
Yeah, but apparently we're in the driving seat, and we really need to make sure that we go and pick up Xabi Alonso. There's no world for Slot at Liverpool. Haven't seen unrest like this since Roy Hodgson was in charge in 2010, and yes, I had to live through that as well. So did you, Paul? Chelsea, I thought looked absolutely horrid. If there was more than 5 game weeks to go, Joe Pedro would be on my chopping block too this game week, but we've only a couple games to go. He's going to start every one of them. I'm just going to play him because he has the ability to score goals. But yeah, I think either side, you're definitely not targeting for the last 2 game weeks. This game is irrelevant for FPL, and may we never speak of this season again. And I'm sure Dom would agree.
Yeah, I was with him, and we were more invested in a conversation that we're having at the table than actually watching the game. So
it says all it needs to be said.
Yeah, and we actually made the comment that I think in our very, very long friendship that was the first time we've actually ever watched Chelsea and Liverpool together, because typically it's a prime time game, and it being on at 9 p.m. our time tells you the state of where things are at with both clubs. So
the only time I reckon we've all watched the game together for Chelsea and Liverpool, and I can't remember if Dom was there. And I think
he wasn't. I know which one you're going to talk about. It's when Emre Can
the Gerrard slip one at the casino.
Oh no, I didn't watch that with you. I watched that at home.
So it was a bunch of boys.
We watched one together with the boys out, and Chan scored, and I think we drew.
Yeah,
but anyway, Brighton Wolves. Give me your thoughts, because Pascal Gross saved it with a tackle assist for Minte, but we were talking off Brighton, and they've gone bang lately. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, look, I think Brighton have kind of turned a little corner and been a little bit underutilized and underseen in FPL. Definitely were the team to pick up on the double, which we kind of all wrote off at the time. They just look good. They look back to the Brighton of what we expected of last year, and a bit of the Brighton we expected this year, but never really got it. We had patches, but that was about it. Just a very good performance, look free-flowing, look aggressive, got some defensive mindedness about him. When we were looking at our teams at the start of the year, we're all looking at De Kuiper being this option, this cheap option, this enabler for us to start our game week run teams with, which, if you remember that, That's a long time ago. Nice that he's done well. Obviously, Hinzelwood, that's massive for all our mini leagues pool, which is great. And yeah, look, pretty happy with obviously that shout. He looked really good. I just think Brighton looked great. Wolves are done. They're dead and buried. And is a team.
They're target fixture big time.
Yeah, I think they are very targetable, so much so that I do have a plan transfer to target them in the last game week of the season. But yeah, I think Wolves are gone and worth targeting them if you've got players that are playing against them this game week.
Now, we got an interesting comment here from Andrew. 79 points, no chips used, and Rayan is the man.
Yep.
He is the man because this bloody goal, have you seen it?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
it's good.
Man, it is a slapper of a goal. What a game, though.
Yeah.
2 red cards in the first half and just absolute carnage. But Bournemouth just make it, I think was it 18 or 16 or 18 now, unbeaten, which is just incredible. I mean, Bournemouth, it's hard for Bournemouth long term because we don't know who's going there to replace Iraola.
No.
And how many of those players are going to get poached again. But I feel like we've said this the last couple of years, and really whoever's come in, they've kind of just settled and been fine. So Bournemouth will be an interesting team that we do some videos on, I guess, over the pre-season, post-World Cup. But, you know, Fulham, we said this a couple of weeks ago, they're going to put the queue in the rack, can't make Europe, not going to get relegated. They're just sort of in that limbo period where it doesn't really matter for them. So, again, probably another team to actually kind of target as well because they're not really playing for much. So Bournemouth, though, if you've got Bournemouth assets, I think hold big time. Senesi gets DC, Scott gets DC, and I reckon my boy Hill finished on 9 as well. So this could have been a very different game week starting Hill and Lacroix. That's 4 points sitting on the table potentially from a DC each, which is frustrating very much. Andrew, I have seen your comment, but we'll get to it when we're talking about Arsenal. Sunderland, Man United. I haven't seen much of this game, but very interesting to see how many players got DC, Damo. Did you have any big takeaways from this one?
Not too big, to be honest. I think it was just a solid game, and they
again a bit of nothing. Man United have made Champions League. Sunderland are safe.
Yeah. Look, if you own Bruno, you're a little bit frustrated, right? But you're not selling him, so it is what it is. If you have more than one United asset here, then it's probably a defender, and you're probably happy. Is what I would say.
I mean, you get the clean sheet. So
if you have a Sunderland player, would you have played him against United? Maybe, and if you did, it was probably Mukiele.
Dom benched Mukiele this week for a nice 6-pointer, but the rest of the bench returned.
I think if you had these players that were likely on your bench, unless it was Bruno Fernandes, or Mukiele, more than likely you probably have bad players on the bench. I don't think it's much of a game. There's so many doublers that you probably would have played and other fixtures where you would have went. Then I think the big name players that you would have had from a fantasy perspective in this game would have either been on your team and you would be happy because it was a 0-0 because it's mainly defenders, or it's Bruno and you're a little bit upset. I don't think people still have. I don't think many people have Cunha anymore. I don't think many people have Mbeumo anymore. I doubt you have a United.
You can see by the effective ownership, Bruno was at 99% and everyone else is 1 or lower. So
correct. So, I don't think it's a much of a game as Dom's here. Welcome, Dom. You are the hero, mate. What a legend you are.
I'm a chat hero.
Hinzelwood. What a legend.
Project get the win.
It's good.
And I managed to get points as well. So we'll give an update next week going into game week 38 on what the 20-team league looking like for Big Papa Paulie, who's had a shambles of a second half of the season and thrown it completely
absolutely just saved you.
Yeah, I've thrown it in the bin in my other league because everyone else around me targeted all their chips around playing me, and I crumbled. But we're trying to hold on in this big league, so we'll see how that goes. City Brentford, gentlemen. I think one of you owns O'Reilly, the other owns Gahey. This is where I may have got some things wrong when I targeted triple City attack. It's interesting because Cherky did return for me. When did everyone target? They've already had one double, haven't they? Yeah, in the first double, Cherky got the big return. Semenyo didn't. So far, Semenyo hasn't. If Semenyo doesn't return again for me, probably going to regret not going an O'Reilly or a Gahey, especially if it's another clean sheet. I didn't feel like the defenders killed me last double game week. I don't think they kept a clean sheet, did they, in those 2 games?
No.
Memory. I don't remember them burning me. So if they get returns this time around again, though, then I'll really feel like I got that one wrong.
I think O'Reilly got an attacking return and all of that, though.
Potentially. But, he did and everyone was scared of him because he was injured.
Yeah.
He got an assist. He got the Haaland assist. Has anything changed with regards to City or Brentford and your thoughts, boys, going into the last 2 weeks?
I definitely think that Pep ain't got to change too much of this team. There's not going to be too much Pep roulette with the last few games. I think he's pretty settled. He knows his team's playing well enough to win every match moving forward to win the league. But I do think that the way the team is currently playing is probably a detriment to Semenyo. It doesn't seem to be getting as many clear-cut chances. Yes, Paul, he did bench and he could have got an assist on the weekend. But it ain't the Semenyo that just joined City in this rich reign of form of Bournemouth. He looks quite tired. So I feel like from this perspective, again, it kind of feeds that narrative and the fact that Doco's going ballistic at the moment as well. I wouldn't say you're going I wouldn't say you're going from Semenyo to Doku. But I would say if you've got an abundance of transfers, I'm pretty sure myself and you, Paul, only have one transfer. Dom might have more than one moving forward. You're probably not moving to a City asset if you've already got 3 and moving one sideways. I will say if you've only got 2, I definitely think Doku could be quite the play here at 1.8% effective ownership. So,
he is just looking in such good form, and he's very much a form player as well. So
correct.
Wish I had him, but I don't. So it is what it is. Any other final thoughts, Dom, before we try and round through and look at some projections?
No, go on.
No, all right. Burnley Villa. We have to talk about this one. Surely no one here is relevant whatsoever. Rodgers, 11% owned. Not one person played a Burnley player this week, it looks like, with all 0% effective ownership. I think we move on.
I think we do not. There is a player we must speak about here. Now, just going to put it out there. He is my Game Week 38 punt, and he looked fantastic. And his name is Fleming. And I'm telling you all right now, you want to chase your rank in Game Week 38, he is my lock. He looks good. And Burnley, I think they're playing Wolves. And I think Burnley are going to definitely go out for the kill on the final day of the season. So, I definitely think you can take solace knowing that Fleming and Burnley just look good going forward, and that is it.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that lines up coming into Game Week 38. Palace and Everton, Damo, you've spoken a little bit about this one. What were your takeaways? A few nice goals here, though.
Yeah, some nice goals in a pretty decent game. Obviously, if you got a Palace defender in, like I got Henderson and Lerox in because I needed a defender, it's a little bit more difficult. I think if you own Palace, you're like, look, Everton was always going to be a tough fixture, but you obviously target doubling guys over single game week guys. If you went for a midfielder, we didn't know what sort of minutes they were going to get. Great, well done. If you got Sarah Mateta in, you're braver than us. Well done. I just think it looked okay, but not great. And I feel like if you're someone that has got a triple city, double city attack, you're probably licking your lips this second fixture. I think they can be got at. I think Everton, again, proving away from home, they're very plucky, and why they've been a bit of a problem for sides when they are away from home. They set up pretty well. I think Tark is someone that if you just own him from Game Week 1 and just held him, you would be very happy if you played him every single week for the full 38 weeks.
There's so much talk around him too.
Yeah, DC, a goal. He's going to have these game weeks. Yes, there was quite a stretch where I think I got off him where he went very quiet. And then
I think that's my learning for this year, Damo. Yeah. I think backing like a squad of 13 instead of 15, I've just lost so many points this week by trying to play matchups where I've had lots of good players. And this year we've had a lot more value. Obviously only owning like a Haaland, not a Haaland and a Salah. I feel like I've spread my team value too thin. I've used
too much. We have too many options. Yeah,
I haven't invested.
And I think this game highlights it because you're someone that would have owned Tark, right? You're someone that Larox finishes one DC off getting DC here, which is unfortunate. It says 8, but I'm pretty sure it got updated to 9. Correct me
Yeah,
if
it's
I'm wrong,
9.
Michael. Yeah.
Maybe it was 8, but
post-game.
whatever.
Yeah. Right. You would have benched him a lot of times. Yeah, you would have like benching him this week, but there's a lot of times you would have got DC. Someone like Manoz who gets bonus points a lot, you probably would have benched, if this was a single game week. I think it makes a lot of sense. And when we do our teams next year, I think the likes of Anderson and Tark and all that are going to go up 0.5, maybe a little bit more.
But I still think they're worth it.
Yeah.
Even if Anderson sticks.
I think going with them and then having like 2 dead spots at the bench, knowing that you're playing most of them and they're going to be good in any fixture, I think really helps. So, yeah, I just my immediate planning for next year is just to tackle them a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. Palace obviously playing City. I mean, anything you get from them is going to be a bonus, I think, this week. So don't count on it. But if they get something, then so be it. We've spoken about the man Anderson so much. Goal, DC, 12-pointer, 3 bonus. Just gets the job done. He's so good.
He is very good.
Yeah.
And I was the odd man out that didn't start him this week.
Well, I didn't either.
Get his points, I should say.
Yes.
So maybe I've learnt my lesson there, and you guys are in the 1 point. I mean, it's not quite 1.8% because there'll be the odd few people like Dom that get him off the bench, but call it 2.5% of people
since I've owned him second half of this year, which is about game week 28, just played him every week.
I think he is just a lock next season wherever he plays, unless he's at Man City and away he goes. Newcastle, again, I'm not looking at Newcastle at all, personally. At all. Yeah. I'm not interested.
Not interested.
They got West Ham this week, which isn't an easy game, and then I don't know where they go. Final game of the week. But
I think it's Leeds off the top of my head, but I wouldn't go there.
Leeds have someone in the relegation hunt. They might have West Ham.
Yes.
I think Leeds have West Ham.
Yes. Newcastle. I'll let you know now.
Tottenham have someone else.
Newcastle have Fulham away. Wouldn't touch it.
Now, the reason I wanted to bring this up, Andrew, because Calafiori got subbed because he was injured, I'm pretty sure. So I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go Calafiori because I'm pretty sure he came off early with an injury, and Arteta confirmed it in the post-match press conference. But what are your thoughts on Gyökeres, gentlemen?
Nah,
I know he doesn't score in this one, but he is in some serious form at the moment.
Looking decent.
Wins in the league.
Where would we go if we're looking at Arsenal then? Are we looking at double defense?
I'm actually going slightly different to Chase rank. I do think double defense is better if you don't own Saliba. He's probably the best of the bunch to pick up here when they play Burnley next at home. Don't expect Burnley, who just scored 3, to score against Arsenal. But I expect Burnley to treat this game as a whatever game, so they're at full pomp for their last home game in the Prem before they go down, which is against Wolves. So, yeah. I will say is I'm going slightly different. I feel like Arsenal know that, yes, that if they keep 2 clean sheets, they'll likely win the league. But they also know that the longer they keep this game 0-0 and don't just kill Burnley off, the more nervy it's going to get. And then that's going to create its own problems. And, Burnley might be, we're actually in this game here. And then, they have the capability to score. So I think Arsenal come and attack and try and score a couple goals early here. So I think a attacker is where I would go. And I think if you got the funds to get the Saka, I think he's captainable in game week 37. Yeah. And without telling you what my moves are, because we'll explain them later, that might or might not be where I'm aiming to go.
Yeah, I went in last week and I thought, again, he was all right. He's clearly back up to scratch as well. Like, I know he comes off for Madueke, but when the game's on the line, he'll be on the pitch, I think. So I'm pretty keen to go from there. Interesting comment from Colm. If I didn't already have 3, I'd be leaning towards Eze. I just think there's a bit of volatility in that midfield, like that center midfield area for Arsenal at the moment. I think we saw some movement within that, Havertz and Odegaard and Zubimendi and Rice. There was a bit of movement throughout the game. It's not like there's going to be one of those guys that's going to sit there and play, strong minutes. I think that's why I like Gyökeres, to be honest. I just don't see him not getting him benched, but I can't make that move happen. So I'll avoid it. But I don't know. Part of me, I liked Gyökeres at the start of the year too, and it burnt me a little bit. But
Look, I don't
I'm
mind going for
keen on.
Gyökeres as well. If you need to move to a striker, let's say you got Thiago, right, who I would love to move on, but don't have enough transfers to do. I think Gyökeres would be a great punt if you have the funds, of course, because there is a bit of a price difference. Would I move Pedro to Gyökeres? Look, if you're someone that has 3 transfers, sure. Someone like me and Paul only has 1, no.
Yeah.
I just think Saliba's a great play. Wouldn't touch Calafiore because of injury. Would I move to Raya?
I think if you're going defense, it's Gabriel. It's Gabriel and Saliba, I think, if you're going defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're going midfield, it's Saka. He's the most nailed for minutes. He's got to play. He's going to be the talisman. If they get a penalty, ain't giving a penalty up to Odegaard, I do not think, with the title on the line. So it'll be Saka that takes it. So I think he's the best play. I don't mind Trossard because I think Trossard starts both games to end the season with the form that he's in. And I don't mind Trossard, but I'm not touching Odegaard. I'm not touching Ezwe. I'm not touching Madueke. I'm not touching any of those guys that can play centrally. I'm not touching Declan Rice. So yeah, I think my ranking would be Calafiore. Would be Saliba, Saka, Gyökeres in that order, with Trossard coming in 4th. Would be how I would rank him.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I can live with that. All good with me. West Ham, I think, just very unlucky, but I wouldn't go off Haaland just yet, Lee. I mean,
nah, I wouldn't do it.
Depending how many, I mean, they go Palace, Bournemouth, Villa. There's goals there. If there's goals there, Haaland's going to get involved. So
correct. I think Haaland's very captainable in both games. I think the Bournemouth game could be quite tricky. I just think that both teams score, and if both teams score, it's likely going to be Haaland. So I wouldn't go away. I do think there is an opportunity to go against Haaland for captaincy in game week 37, but we'll talk about that more a little bit later.
Yeah, you've kind of already alluded to what that could look like if, we did go and do that. So I don't think that's the worst decision there because there are some fixtures to target, but we'll get to that a bit later. Spurs Leeds. Please tell me you guys, actually, before we move on, taking Lewis Skelly over Saliba.
Interesting. Don't mind it. If you're confident that he starts twice, Vass, then yeah.
I like it.
I don't mind it. It's a bit of a differential.
Where's he going to play is the big question.
Probably left back.
Invert.
It's a risky move. But
yeah, it's the one benching and it kind of kills it because it's only 2 game weeks. So it's not like, I get him in, he might be benching the one in the next 5 and you get a good 4 games out of him, right? This is the time of the year where you need to take educated punts with players that are going to play 90. I think Lewis Skelly starts both, but for that reason, I think this is a good move. But there's an elevated risk here. So it depends where your rank is, depends on what you're trying to target for your season. This is mainly why I'm trying to maybe go something slightly different for game week 37 myself, and game week 38 for that matter too. But this is
I like it.
This is
I
not
understand the DM punt, Anthony, but my concern there is that was with Calafiore fit at left back. So the injury to Calafiore and Hincapié is just completely gone off the radar in the last month. So, and he played at left back when Calafiore
I think he
wasn't on
starts
the
at
pitch.
left back. I don't think he plays DM.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Rice and Zubimendi doing what they've done. And then he goes back to left back. But I don't hate the shout. Spurs Leeds, this game was bloody incredible. This could have finished a win to either side. I don't think anyone's really fantasy relevant here. Annoying for me that Stroik got injured, so I'm going to have to watch the news on that one because
you're planning to play him.
I was hoping to use him. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see on that news. But everyone else really did what I needed. Calvert-Lewin popped up with a penalty. Yep. Thanks for coming. And that's that. So I don't think there's much relevancy there.
Nah, unless you're someone that went to Pedro Porro a couple of weeks ago when people were looking at Spurs. But yeah.
I did.
Yeah, Dom, you went him, didn't you?
Yeah, paid off. They had a Wolves game.
Right.
Yeah. And you got DC.
In that free hit week where most people free hit, but some people didn't. And I would have been. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We are ready to go for our standard chat here around projections. Now, obviously, this is over 2 weeks. Haaland, Gabriel, very high ownership players that we're not going to have to really worry about too much. Saka, Damo, we've spoken about. So projected at 88 minutes across the board. If that's the projection, what are our thoughts on a Bukayo Saka?
I think he is arguably the best transfer in. If you don't own him this game week, I think he's captainable. As mentioned, I think Arsenal could fall into the trap of being their typical try and get one goal and then just set up shop and defend for their lives, because that's what Arteta likes to do. I just don't think that's going to happen. A team like Burnley kind of thrives in that situation, because then obviously Arsenal just aren't playing their football. Burnley can start lumping balls into the box and then havoc can ensue. I think the stadium would get on top of them, right, as well, which I think is not good.
Because they're playing at home too.
Yeah, so I think what should happen in this game is Arsenal come on the front foot and try and score and get a couple goals, ease the nerves in the stadium, ease the nerves of the players, and eliminate that that feeling that things are going wrong, and that's what I think they need to do. And for those reasons, I think Saka is the talisman. Saka is the main man that will see him to probably this title now. And with that being said, probably is the best transfer in this game week, I would say.
Yeah. Dom, any extra thoughts there?
Nah, it's nail on the head. Damo.
Beautiful. Yep. Before we move through, guys, if you are new and you haven't already, can you please help us out and getting us to 300 subscribers? We're sitting at 277. So if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be great. And if you can also hit a big like on the stream, that would be very much appreciated. Bruno Fernandes, he goes Nottingham Forest at home and Brighton away. Similar point, I think. If you don't own him, probably just there's better options to go around the same price short term. But he has been an absolutely fantastic option this season, and someone will be looking for next season, I'm sure, especially depending on who is at the helm for United. Saliba, Damo.
Yep.
The next highest.
I think he's good.
Yeah, I think Hub's got the three Arsenal assets you'd want: Gabriel, Saka, Saliba. I think if you're picking three and you just want that's the safest houses, isn't it? Really, that's just I want the clean sheets. Saliba got the DC this week, or was he one off? Maybe can't remember. Maybe it was one off. He was pretty close to DC, which for him's not common. But I think Arsenal may have to do a little bit more defending than normal as well, as you've said, especially if they get up early and then they kind of retreat a little bit. It could be one of those ones where you both get DC and a clean sheet, and you're looking at some solid points there against Burnley, and then Palace away. I think they'll lock this up as well. So it could be 2 clean sheets for them as well, which would be a very good option. So I think Saliba is a fantastic option. Interesting enough, João Pedro comes in next. 5.6 against Tottenham. Those fixtures are pretty targetable, I'd say. Tottenham at home. I mean, we know Tottenham playing for their lives, but you'd expect Chelsea to at least score. Tottenham do look better. I'll give them credit under De Zerbi. I don't think it's as gravy as it once was. But what are our thoughts on a João Pedro?
Over to you, Dom, resident Chelsea fan.
Don't bother.
If you own him already?
If you own him already, but I wouldn't make a move for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be buying him.
There's nothing screams at me like there's going to be goals in Chelsea's last couple games. Teams checked out, literally nothing to play for. FA Cup next week, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on the Saturday.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pedro's rested this week as well.
Wait, it's this Saturday, so I don't know when that game's being played. Must be later.
Are you sure?
It's midweek of 37.
Yeah.
Yes,
so they will be playing a few days afterwards. I see where João Pedro is. I see where João Pedro is rested because of celebration issues. Is what I would say.
Celebration.
They're not winning.
If they win the FA Cup, they're going to be on a bender.
They're not winning the FA Cup, mate.
Could be one of those ones where if you do have a benching dilemma, it's a week where you could look at playing someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to have to play him myself, but yeah, João Pedro. Wouldn't go there.
Let's have a look. So, João Pedro, is that Bruno G? Someone we loved earlier in the season. I get the West Ham fixture this week. Again, wouldn't be buying into a Bruno G with not much to play for at Newcastle. But I think if things look all right in pre-season, I think he's someone who could be on the radar again in that DC bracket. Cole Palmer, I think he's in a void. I sold him last week, and my head hit the table when he scored, thinking that I finally got rid of this mole in my team that tanked my rank. And the week I sold him, he was going to score and return, and thank God it was marginally offside, so we take that and run. Thiago Damo as an owner, what are your thoughts? 37-38.
Look, I am planning to play him in 37, and then I'm planning to sell him in 38 for Liverpool away fixture. I think it's a tough fixture. I think if you're someone that has an abundance of transfers, right? So a lot of transfers, and you can get to anybody that has two better fixture sets, so a good fixture in 38 and a pretty decent fixture in 37, I would move.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think he's worth holding. But yeah.
Have we seen anyone in this list that screams buy as a striker?
No,
That's my issue.
Not
I
yet.
think there is
what I would say.
Yeah, I don't really think there is. So
there is strikers out there I would go to, but I haven't seen them yet. You know, Yorker Calvert-Lewin, I think, has two decent fixtures to end the season. Fleming has a really good fixture at the end of the season. I know Burnley play Arsenal, don't go there. Yeah,
I don't think there's heaps, but Casemiro, Rice, we've spoken about Doku. I'm surprised he's not higher on this list, but again, it's probably the minutes. Hub's probably a little bit behind on as well. So you're getting the Doku, Gahey, O'Reilly, City sort of projected for 10 points over the next 2 weeks. Again, I think you can't really go wrong there. I think we got a good point here from Tiger as well. I'll do Thiago to Bowen if West Ham need the win. Again, that's the kind of nuance that's probably important at this point of the season as well, because we want to see teams that are playing interesting. All these City assets, Szoboszlai not going there, and Dyer not going there, Botman not going there, Cunha, Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin isn't bad, but again, Leeds aren't playing for anything in particular at this point now. So as a Calvert-Lewin owner, I'll be playing him over a João Pedro. He will just sit as my second forward, and then I have to just make a decision, pretty much Elliot Anderson versus João Pedro for the next couple weeks. And I'll probably take the floor of Elliot Anderson over the ceiling of João Pedro at this point, is my early thinking. Are there any players in particular that haven't come up, gentlemen, that we want to discuss before we get into our plans and some questions? What are your thoughts?
Not really, I don't think.
Should we get into our early plans then?
Yes, we can.
I don't know what Dom's doing. Let's add that.
Do
you want to fire yours up, Damo? Whilst we wait, can we get as many questions in as we can? We've got an interesting one here from Andrew that I'll read in a second, but thank you to the two people that have subscribed. We are sitting at 279, so if we can get up as close to 300 or 285 by the end of the stream, there's plenty of people here already, which is fantastic. And I'm going to say thank you to Anthony, because I can see that he's one of those ones that are subscribed. So I got a notification there. So thank you very much, my friend. And we are sitting on 15 likes. So if we can pump that up to 20 likes and then another
Chat's
couple
been going crazy tonight as well. That
would be fantastic. I'm going to put this to you, boys. Does anyone watch the FPL pubcast? Because I haven't heard of
actually
the
follow
FPL
us on Twitter.
Well, there you go.
I think they're English lads. They've got a few thousand subscribers, a few thousand followers. Actually post some really good stuff on Twitter.
All right. Well, maybe, Andrew, we might have to draw the connection. The good thing with deadline stuff, that typically works out all right for us at the start and the end of the season.
Yes.
Deadline for us is like after dinner on a Saturday night. So it's not the worst, but again, it is not ideal. But we can try and make stuff work, and we'll see if we can get in contact and do some stuff together. That would always be fantastic. So get your questions in the chat. Colin with an interesting point. Won't it be 3 seasons in a row that Man City have lost the FA Cup final if Chelsea win? Man United 1-1.
Last year.
Palace. Yeah, it would be.
And now City are going to win 5-0.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, we've got some pubcast. Might have to go and
thanks for the sub, Lee.
And thank you very much, Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
Well. Lee, chuck us a follow on Twitter. I'll give you a follow back.
There we go. All right, Damien, talk us through your plan.
Sorry, I'm having some internet issues. I don't know if that's loaded. Everything's kind of
loaded.
frozen on me, which is well
Yeah.
and good.
You're
Long story
on.
short, game week 37. I've only got one free transfer. I think this is a great week to be differential and go a bit different. So, with that being said, I have decided to go and move Semenyo, who's been in not the greatest band of form. He did play okay on the weekend, but nothing great. And going to go and get in Bukayo Saka. And captain him. I think this is a week that we can go against Haaland. I don't think Bournemouth are going to get blown out by City. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. And with that all being said, I think then we can definitely see a world where Saka will outscore Haaland this game week, and there's potential for him to go ballistic. So hopefully he does.
Beautiful. I am happy to go next. I'm not set on really what I want to do. I haven't really thought about it too much. I've kind of wanted to wait until the midweek stuff's all done, and then I'll think about it a bit more. Early thoughts for me, I've got Stroik to potentially deal with, which isn't ideal. I've only got one transfer. At this stage, I've gone Stroik to Saliba. There's a world where I do that and hate myself when Semenyo scores a hat-trick against his former side at Bournemouth. But trying to take the floor of an Elliot Anderson over the ceiling of a Semenyo, potentially.
Yeah.
Especially depending on what happens between midweek, FA Cup, plus the extra game there against Bournemouth. I just think it's a lot of minutes. So my problem is I won't know what's happened none of us will know what's happened in the cup final before they play that 37 game. That's a hard thing to consider. But I just can't not play Elliot Anderson at this point. And whether it's João Pedro potentially that ends up being the one I bench, that's a possibility as well. And I just fire up the City guys and just pray that they assist and score for each other. And I just say, João Pedro, you go and prove me wrong. Like, I know it's Tottenham, but I don't think that Tottenham game is going to be very easy at Stamford Bridge. And I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of goals in it. And that's what we've seen with De Zerbi so far, is it's been a bit more solid at the back and a lot more Spurs looking to counter and really playing the break. So maybe it is a João Pedro hits the bench for a week and I just bring Saliba in and I go double Arsenal defense for the rest of the season. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good.
Am I stupid for benching João Pedro?
No, I think they're just in poor run of form. So
yeah,
no.
And I think the floor of Anderson outweighs the ceiling. I think I'm more likely to get a 5-pointer from Anderson than a 7-pointer from João Pedro. That's just how I'm weighing it up. And if it happens that way, then so be it. Dom, any early thoughts on where you're going?
I could pull my team up because I know exactly what I'm doing.
Go for it.
I'll share my screen.
Whilst Dom's doing that, last call for questions. Last call for questions. Oh, here we go. Interesting comment here. So Nick is in New Zealand and Darius is from Kalgoorlie, as in Kalgoorlie, Perth? So they must record at a decent time then.
That's 3 different time zones, yeah.
And in Canada. And the other 3 regulars are based in England. I'm going to look it up now.
Here's my team. Tell you exactly what it's doing. Do you want me to go, Paul?
Yep, you're on, mate.
Okay, so writing a transfer with this team, obviously Captain Haaland, just can't really see myself going elsewhere. Banks 2 transfers for game week 38. And if you all notice, got my bench boost here to play. In game week 38, Solanke and Hincapié moved to I'm not sure who. And then we go for it because the league that Paul, Damo, and myself are in, our big money league, highest scorer from game week 38 wins a cash prize. So I'm just chasing that.
Is that including?
Not including chips? I don't think.
I was going to say if it was, then I would wait. And
you got to double check that, Dom.
I'll have to double check that. But owed to Paul, who was it last year? Or the year before?
I won it last year. Yeah,
Paul won that last year. So I'll have to double check that ruling. But I'm going to go for it in 38. Regardless, I'm playing the bench boost in 38. But But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Worried about the league.
Yeah, fair point. All right. Well, now it is question time. So we've got our first one, Damo, as a resident Morgan Rogers glazer. What would you do
I
in
have
this
him too.
situation?
I don't have him anymore, but I do like him. I
Right,
think he's a great footballer when in form. I can't decide what to do. Morgan Rogers have 2 free transfers this next game week. Villa. I don't know what I would do with Villa. They made the Europa League final, so there's going to be some rotation, isn't there, in game week 38?
Are they chasing anything though?
No,
doesn't really matter. I mean, they're sitting 5th at the moment, so like they're in. It's hard because it's like if they stay 5th, then the Europa League final doesn't matter. So they'd want to still finish 5th regardless.
They're 4 points clear. Oh,
they are 4 clear. So if they win this week, then they're guaranteed Champions League, and then there's no chance any of them play in 38.
Yeah,
that's the worry.
But they're playing Liverpool. They beat them. They just did a point last game week to finish 4th, so they'll finish above Liverpool, which would be a massive achievement.
Yeah. At that point, it doesn't really matter, though.
I think I would probably sell and go to a better option. Who that is depends on what funds you have. Like if you can get from Morgan Rogers to Saka, I think that's a great move.
Yeah.
If you need to go down, there is some decent options moving further down as well. That could be a good punt. But yeah, it depends. Look, if I'm always been in the camp that if you have Morgan Rogers and he's not a priority sell, you can just play him as your 5th playing midfielder because he's just going to pop up randomly. But yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Anthony, as well for your sub. That's much appreciated. Hopefully you've enjoyed tonight and hopefully you have a good night as well. Jackie, should I use triple captain this week on Casemiro, Dewsbury Hall, or Osula? Now, Jackie does do very differential captains for those who don't know. So, Casemiro plays against Nottingham Forest. I know he pops up with headed goals a lot, though. They're playing at home. It just that kind of does scream of a Casemiro contribution last game at Old Trafford as well before he leaves. Man, if you had an Arsenal player, it'd be fantastic to fire them up against Burnley. Even if it was like Gabriel, you know, I don't think it's the worst year. I don't know who Everton play this week. Or Osula. Again, I don't know if he's locked in to play for Newcastle, but I know you captained Osula last week for a big 9-pointer. Or keep for game week for Burnley or possibly a West Ham player. What about Fleming in that last game?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if you can hold it to 38, get Fleming in and captain Fleming because I'm seriously thinking about captaining Fleming in game week 38. That's what I would do.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, Benny, Welbeck for Thiago or Tavernier for Anderson? I don't really love either of those moves.
If I'm going to pick one, it's Welbeck for Thiago. Oh, hang on. As in Thiago to Welbeck, or are you going the other way?
No, bringing Thiago in.
Nah, just leave it.
Yeah. I mean, if you Tavernier to Anderson doesn't have heaps of upside in 2 weeks either. That's the other issue I've got there.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew. I have 3 City, 2 Bournemouth, Hill and Ryan. Really fancy Bournemouth at home. Do I just play Hill? Should get DC regardless. So they're playing each other, aren't they, in 37?
Yeah.
I think you could just get away with Hill and play for a 4-pointer.
Yeah, I think it's I think you could probably play a Bournemouth defender this week if you had to. Bournemouth are going to be a decent side at home. So, yeah, I hear this, but I think if you can bench him, it's probably not bad. I got double Bournemouth defense and Scott on my bench for this game week. Also think their last fixture isn't like the greatest. Like, yeah, they're a pretty good team. Granted. They played Nottingham Forest away, and Forest are on a pretty good high.
They haven't lost since January, man. They haven't lost since January. I think that's got to have some credit in the bank.
Yeah, so I think getting off a Bournemouth asset's probably the right time for it. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's luxury areas for me, I think. I think you can get away with those DC defenders regardless. Different set here. Enzo to Trossard or Welbeck to Thiago. I don't know.
I would go Enzo to Trossard if I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love Trossard. Oh, I don't know. Arteta's got this thing for
Hold
Martinelli. I wouldn't want to hold Enzo either, but then the money's tough, so I don't think it's perfect. So, last opportunity, guys, to get in your dilemmas and questions. I can see there's still 14 people lingering around. If you haven't already, could you please hit that like button on the stream as well? It does go a long way in pushing the stream out, and it does support us big time as well. We are currently sitting on 17 likes. If we can get that up to 20 likes, that'd be fantastic. Leeds have a few injuries again. I'd keep Welbeck. That's a good point as well. No strikes, no Bogle.
Leeds are safe, aren't they?
They are safe as well. Brighton pushing for Europe. I think Danny Welbeck is a fine hold. Bench Wilson or Welbeck. I'd be benching Harry Wilson in that set. Fulham are checked out as much as that's ever happened. They are very much checked out at this stage. So I would be benching a Harry Wilson. But on that note, I think that's where we are going to leave things tonight. Best of luck to everybody with your Palace and City assets for Wednesday night or Thursday morning, depending on what side of the world you'll be watching that game from. We'll be back next Tuesday with a game week 37 sort of half review. It looks like. I think we've got a few midweek games that are happening after the stream as well. So we'll be a bit of a check-in point stream next Tuesday, which will be going into game week 38, which will be our last stream probably for the season as well. So we've got to make sure we make that a big one going into the last weekend of the season. So once again, thank you everyone for coming out and joining us on your Tuesday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you're watching from. Thank you to those that are subscribed. If you haven't done that already and you can do that on the way out, that'd be much appreciated. Plus, throwing a like on the stream. But from the three of us, we'll see you guys next Tuesday for our final FPL stream of season 25-26.